Good afternoon once again. Good afternoon once again. And thanks for joining. Thanks for participating. Yes, we are still expecting more participants because we have a little logging in issue. I've been receiving some calls that people were not able to log in. I believe before some time we should be able to have more people online. And apologies for those issues. So we are going to start our training. It will be recorded, and everyone will have a copy. So please, let's start the training. Please let me share my slide. Let me slide my slide. Let me start my slide. Please confirm if you are able to see my slide to view it from your hand. Mr. Joshua, can you view it from your hand?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay. Do you know that who you are today is as a result of the resources you have access to? These resources include the books you read, the experience you have gathered over the years, the exams you have taken, the relationship you have, the environment you found yourself in, and so on. Did you know? Did you know that where your firm is today? I believe we have a lot of audit personnel in the house. So do you believe that where your firm is today is as a result of the experiences they have gathered over the years? That experiences, that 40 years, 50 years, 12, 13 years experiences. The competent staff they have, the sophisticated IT they employed, the commitment of the partners, because if the partners are not committed, the firm cannot stand. The connection they have. You know, Nigeria, you have to have a lot of connection before you can you can go higher. That connection you have, the policies you have implemented, and so on. Did you know? So this simply means that strong IT system, commitment of the partners, competent staffs defines a firm's success. Do you agree? I know you will. And also a good educational background. The books you have read, that environment you found yourself in, determines one's success in life. Am I right? And that is exactly how this international standard on quality management, that is ISQM 1 and 2, are very important and essential for firms' audit quality. So let's see how ISQM 1 build a strong foundation for quality audits, and ISQM 2 ensure a final review for great audit assignments. So good afternoon once again. My name is Oluwatobi Okoma. Oluwatobi has worked with several audit firms and presently with SIAO Partners, one of the leading and well-known firms. With the years of relevant experience, I'm here to share a practical insight that you will implement to manage and a quality audit. So I will be your guide through this training section, ISQM 1 and 2, and I'm excited to be here again. And then to our most experienced in the house, I know we have some experience in the house. Your contribution will be greatly appreciated because we need that practical experience today. And also to all participants, let us be rest assured that we are here to grow, to also discover new ideas and deepen our understanding. So thanks for having me today. Mr. Joshua, please confirm if my slide is changing. We need to be very sure of that. Hope it's changing.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
thank you. So let's quickly go through the table of contents. Guiding you through this topic, we will cover various aspects, which includes the overview of ISQM 1 and 2, its objective, the key elements of ISQM 1 and 2, link between ISQM 1 and 2 in practice. So, and at the end of today, we are going to have a takeaway, and also we have an interactive section with questions and answers during the section. And by the end of this training section, we will all have a comprehensive understanding of what ISQM 1 is and its components. So let's briefly look at the overview of ISQM 1 and 2. The overview of ISQM 1 and 2. And ISQM were developed by the International Auditing and Assurance Standard Board, which is IASB, and were introduced on December 15, 2020. Why this standard was effective on December 15, 2022, that is 2 years interval. Now replacing ISQM 1, which is the former standard, International Standard on Quality Management 1. Let's briefly talk about the former standard, ISQC 1. Yes, ISQC 1 focuses on quality control for firms. Firms that performs audits and the review of financial statements and other assurance and related services. ISQC is primarily focusing on control processes within the firm. These elements of ISQC. So ISQC has 6 components embedded. Hope my slide is changing, Mr. Joshua. Hello, hope I'm still audible. Mr. Joshua, please, hope I'm still audible.
Yes,
all right, thank you. Thank you. So ISQC comprises of 6 elements, which are the governance and leadership. We have relevant ethical requirements. We have acceptance and continuity of client relationship. We have engagement performance. We have human resources and their monitoring and remediation. So ISQM comes in place to improve the standard by adding 2 elements that are crucial for our audits, which are the risk assessment processes. When we talk of audit, the crucial area we need to look at is the risk. It's added information and communication. So information is key. When there is information gap, there will not be true communication. So ISQM added 2 powerful elements to make it 8, of which is showed on the slide. So let's go ahead. So ISQM is being used by all firms, regardless of the size and location, be it the small audit firm, that is the ANCO, the medium firms, and the large audit firms, which are the big 4. And then audit firm needs to maintain high quality in all our audits. And that is the reason why we have ISQM 1. So what is this ISQM, what we are talking about? What is the quality management we are talking about? What is the quality management as an auditor as a firm, what is the quality management we are talking about according to ISQM 1? So, quality management is a set of rules that firm follows to make sure they are doing the right thing in the right way. That is what they follow to ensure that they are doing the right thing in the right way. Especially when it comes to managing of quality audits. For the users of financial statements, what are you doing to ensure quality? And that is what ISQM portrays. So let's just imagine you are a stakeholder, you are a client, you are relying on the financial statements, and you always discover that this account is not based on quality and compliance. How will you feel if you discover that the account you are holding, it doesn't based on quality and compliance? How will you feel? And that is the reason why ISQM was introduced, to ensure that everything we are doing as an auditor is in compliance and is in good and quality. So let's look at ISQM 2. ISQM 2 talks about engagement quality review. It focuses on reviewing individual audits, especially those that are complex. There are some audits, let's just use an example, like banks, insurance company, they are compliance-based. They are complex. So you have to have a level of review, in order to avoid risks or to reduce risks. And that is the reason why ISQM 2 is introduced. In conclusion, ISQM 1 focuses mainly on quality of audit work, while ISQM 2 focuses on what? The review of that audit we have done by independent expert or personnel that is far away from the audit team, in order to what? To create independency of the audits. Let's briefly look at the importance of quality management in audits. Let's look at the importance of quality management in audit. Number one is to ensure accuracy and reliability. Yes, accurate and reliable financial information. You see, when an account is free from material error, stakeholders and regulators will be able to rely on it for smart decisions. And that is what ISQM is portraying. Number two is to comply with standards. It's to comply with standards. You know, compliance with standards is the foundation of trust in financial reporting. If they know that your firm is always in compliance, you are hot in town. So it will enhance your client relationship, even for other business opportunities. And if a firm refuses to comply with regulatory like FRCN, Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, you know, it might also lead to regulatory penalty. Definitely. Yeah. So such clients might build up a bad reputation. It can also lead to withdrawal of license as well. You know, there is no company like there is no company love doing business with a firm that is not registered. Sure, you know that one. Yes. You know, there is no company that likes doing business with companies that is not registered. Because there is a level of compliances when you registered. They will know that, no, this firm has passed through some compliances. So yes, we have a little confidence. If not all, at least for you to register, you could have passed through some processes. All right. Compliance is the key to effective quality audit. So let's go to risks to reduce risk. Risk reduction to reduce risk. Procedures are follows. All our checklists are checked. Risks will be earlier detected and managed effectively. You know, in audit work, we have a laid-down policy, we have a principle, we also have programs we need to follow as an auditor. That one is there. All we need to do is just to follow them accordingly to reduce risk or even avoid risk in the practices. So these are the items, these are the importance of ISQM 1. So let's briefly look at the objective of ISQM 1. Objective of ISQM. Number 1 is to conduct effective engagement quality reviews. To conduct effective engagement quality reviews. As you have said, that's IS2 based on review. You know, it makes sure and ensure that individual audits are reviewed critically, carefully, with a competent and independent reviewer, as I said earlier. So, for a major audit, an independent senior auditors that is not involved in that assignment should review. This is just to create an independency of the audit work. And also improve what? Reliability of our work. So let's talk about to promote leadership and governance. You know, effective leadership and governance starts with the leader. Yeah, it starts with the leader. The partners to the manager, down the seniors, and so on. They should make sure that the team follows the best practices for quality audits. As an auditor, we have a laid-down principle. So they should ensure that this principle, these programs are followed accordingly. To manage risks and resources. So ISQM 1 also addresses that needs to identify and manage risks. Well spelled. So, and also to confirm that the staffs have a solid training on audit processes. And these are those things that rallies around being conscious and also to manage risks. Because if you don't have a competent staff, there's no way you are open to risks. Definitely, you are. Let's go ahead. Let's look at the challenges of ISQM. The challenges of ISQM. Mr. Joshua, I hope my slide is changing. Challenges of ISQM 1 and 2.
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you. So let's look at the challenges of ISQM. Number 1 is lack of resources. Yes, you know, similar firms, smaller firms like ANCO, might find it hard to train staff, to also old way of doing things. We have some staff, they don't want to change. They don't want to change manual processes. So they will find it difficult to cope with the standard. Definitely. So let's talk about the difficulty in identifying qualified reviewer. Yes, finding experience and independent for audit purpose may be very difficult, especially in a smaller firm when there is no job segregations. The set of team that goes for audit is the one that reviews. because there's no segregation of duty. They multitask a lot in ANCO. So how are they going to get that resources for them to employ a reviewer? How are they going to get the reviewer when everybody is on the field, who is now independent to carry on the review? So these are the challenges we are having in adopting the standard. Complexity of implementation. You know, developing this standard fully can be complicated and time consuming, because it involves a lot of detailed work and adjustments. So complexity of implementation. So let's go to the next slide, which talk about the 8 elements of this new standard introduced by IASB. What are the 8 components of the standard introduced by IASB? We have the governance and leadership. We'll talk about the right people in charge and also the right people to in their attitude. Number 2 talks about the risk assessment processes. We'll talk about how to assess the risk area in audit engagements. This one is this risk assessment process is newly added by IASB. Then the relevant ethical requirements, which talks about how to maintain integrity and objectivity in our audit work. Acceptance and continuity of client relationship. This is just the process to choose, decide, continue, and also to discontinue a client. These are the processes you need to follow to discontinue, to choose the clients. Engagement performance. These are the processes we need to do the needful, the processes we need as an auditor to achieve that quality. Resource management, resources we need to support the entire audit process. You know, we need computer, we need phones. All these things have to be in place. The 7th one is information and communication. That is gathering of information on how to communicate them effectively to the audit processes, the audit team. Information and communication, very important in audits. And lastly, we have monitoring and remediation process. That is keeping an eye on internal audit control to ensure they are working perfectly. And there is no use of there's no need of use of control if there is no check, and also to address issue. There is no need of using it. So all these things have to be monitored. So far they are in place, they need to be monitored and checked, and also address any issues that comes from it. All right, let's go to the elements of ISQM 2. We are successfully dealt with ISQM 1 element, now to ISQM 2. ISQM 2 focuses on maintaining high audit quality through the engagement of quality reviewer, as I've said. The role of this reviewer is to ensure that each audit is reviewed independently by an experienced personnel that have the right skill, so that we can you can spot any issue and resolve them before the final audit, before the final report comes out. So that means that audit cannot be finalized until it passed through quality review. And that's what ISQM 2 portrays. It has to pass through quality review. Yeah. After you finished, after you have already prepared your accounts, the audit, the account, you have to sign the form that yes, it has passed through a rigorous review. It's part of the criteria. You have to ascertain by signing, by documenting that this account, so I'm giving to my client, has passed through this review. It's mandatory, it's a standard. So let's look at the criteria for selecting engagement for review. The criteria for selecting engagement for review is basically on what? On the complexity and the risk level of an audit assignment. That is the basis. If you know that this is a complex engagement, then the reviewer have to what? To be doubled. Because if the first reviewer did not see, the second will see. This is just to minimize risk and litigation processes. Timing. All review must be done before the completion of audits. It's certain. And these are the criteria of engagement review. So let's look at how ISQM 1 and ISQM 2 works together. How did they work together? ISQM 1 sets the quality management system for audit firm, REST, while ISQM 2 makes sure that each audit is done well. So these two standards help to ensure high quality audits from start to finish. That is, after the quality audit, the quality review must follow to ensure what a high quality work, a high quality audit processes. So let's go to the next one, which is let's talk about the elements. The 8 elements of it. ISQM 1 is a quite a robust one, but I'm going to ensure the thing is more in an abstract form so that we can gain more on all the elements. So we have 8 elements and it will be dealt with accordingly. So let's go ahead to treat the first one, which is governance and leadership. Governance and leadership here. This would be an interactive section. We have 38, we have 39 participants online. Yeah. So this will be an interactive section. As I said, we have an experience in our midst, definitely. And they will have a practical experiences to share with us on each of these elements. And then they could have passed through 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. For you to have a quality audit, you should be able to pass through them. So we are going to leave the floor open for experienced ones to assist us in giving us a real life experience on how to handle this. Number one question is, how do leadership affect the success of a quality management system? How do leadership affect the success of a quality management system? That is, as the managing partner, as the manager, as the senior, how do you manage the activities to ensure a high quality audit? How do you go through your processes as the leader? How do you do it? What are those things you do to ensure in your firm to achieve this high quality standard? How do you do it? I know we have owners of firms in the house, SARS and MAS, so we want to hear from you, your experiences over time, how you are able to do it. We have people that are also coming up on this platform as well. So we need to learn from each other. We need a practical experience to be able to go on this training. Please, the floor is open. Mr. Joshua, please, you need to leave the floor open. We need a practical way of handling this. Governance and leadership. As a leader, how did you ensure high quality audits in your firm?
All right, that's fine. Thank you, Ms. Toby. So we can raise our hands and then we just you just unmute and then share with us. So the floor is open. All right, while we are still waiting for our responses, we have some messages on chat box. Let me read out this message from Mr. Dele. So he said, in a small firm, the issue of review can be modulated by creating teams. One does the audits and another does the review. This becomes necessary, especially in small firms, that doesn't have the resource to employ full complement of staff. This is not the rule though, but a modulation to ensure independence and quality control. All right.
That is what we are saying in practice. That is in practice. You have to prioritize segregation of duty, even if you are two. You have to ensure it. Okay. That's a good one. It's also an enlightenment in practice. Mr. Dele, thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. Any other contribution to our training today? We are still expecting people. We are still expecting participants, and the floor is still opened.
All right, so you can raise your hand so that you can speak or drop a message on the chat box, then we can read out the message, please.
All right. I think, Mr. Joshua, I think while we wait for that, let me quickly say this. We have a training coming up. Let me just use this medium to put this through. We have a training coming up November 17th and 23rd of November. The IFRS 9, I know most of us will have been aware that we are having a training on IFRS 9. Sorry, the flyer is out. Let me quickly populate it before we continue. Sorry, I will stop sharing this. Let me share our flyer, please, Mr. Joshua. Okay.
All right, that's fine.
All right, thank you. We are still expecting responses for that question, please. We need a practical idea, a practical comment. Yes, Mr. Joshua, hope you are seeing my slide from there. Hope is visible. Mr. Joshua. Hello?
Yes, it is.
Okay, fine. So this is the next training we are having. We are excited to unveil our updated IFRS 9 training flyers to showcase the improvement values and deepen the concept of our services. The training initially was supposed to be this month, but was postponed to November. This is just to allow more details at the comprehensive program. So in line with Knowledge Quest service, committed to making learning simple and accessible. So as IFRS 9 is one of the most complex standards that requires extra time and attention. So we are pleased to offer a 5-unit credit hours for all participants. And then we have the key highlights of the section, which includes the identifying and analyzing financial instruments in financial statements. Also, a step-by-step guide to calculating ECL and understanding its impact on financial statements. Yes, some of us, we can identify it. Financial statements, financial instruments. So these are the trainings that will enhance us to get an idea of all this. And also a practical audit of ECL using a real-life working paper, and also to impart its tax implications. So we are honored to have the distinguished speakers for this in-depth training. We have Dr. Sheyi Olariwaju, PhD, the current ICANN treasurer, I know popularly known as Mass Attack. We feature covering the tax implication of IFRS 9. Mr. Sheyi is a finance person vast in IFRS and IPSAS. He has an over 20 years experience in various business sectors and academics. He is a respected analyst in corporate governance and financial reporting. So he's a leader and also a problem solver. So he has the ability of building partnership as well. So Mr. Sheyi will be taking us the impact of IFRS 9 on financial statements. And we also have Dr. Adedayo Abdulkabar, PhD. Is currently the chairman of Abuja District. He's also an expertise in IFRS. So he's also a director in finance and administration of ASO projects. So he will be taking the lead section on derivatives and hedging. So it will be a wonderful discussion and impactful one indeed. So while my humble self will be handling the tax aspect, the audit aspect of the training, using a real life working papers and covering other topics as well. So I will encourage us to register early to secure a spot, as this training will promise to be an engaging and effective one as usual. So thank you very much. This flyer will be available after the training, will be sent to our bosses for further inquiries. Thank you very much. So we need someone in the house to assist us. Okay. Oh, Mr. Dele, are you there? Can you assist us? Mr. Dele, please. We need to know how you are managing it in your firm. We need a practical scenario, practical way of doing things. Yes, someone is raising hand.
I've actually posted on the chat box.
Okay.
And simply, okay, maybe the moderator would read it out for all of us.
All right. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dele. Thank you, Mrs. Okoma. So this is Mr. Dele's response. So in a small firm, the issue of review can be, okay, we've read this before. Okay, so in continuation, it's saying define the firm structure and run it, okay? Ensure tone at the top as to timelines. Working paper documentation should be sacrosanct. And then he added that quality control, meaning quality control should be the rule and responsibilities assigned, and someone should review to ensure compliance. Peer review should be encouraged as well. Then Mr. Mosuru added, the levels of accountability differ and depend on the organization concerned and whether the decision to ensure accountability is internal or external. However, through maintaining accountability, leadership fosters trust, which helps to improve the overall performance and commitment, thereby ensuring good governance. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We can also keep our contribution coming in, right? Okay, you can have the floor, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Dele. Thanks for the contribution. We appreciate, and all the participants that commented too. So let's quickly go back to our trainings. We have governance and leadership. Governance and leadership. The purpose of a leader in quality management system is not just to oversee the processes. So it involves setting a good examples and building a culture of honesty and accountability. Yes. As it relates to fame, a leader is always the team lead. which is not necessary to be the manager or any other staff, but someone that is competent in handling that post. So what are the duties of a leader? What are the duties of a leader? Number one is to establish audit processes. Establishing of audit processes, like designing audit plans, determining materiality, allocating taxes, reviewing of documents, also reporting findings, and so on. Number two is resource allocation, which includes budget allocation for trainings, technologies, the devices your teams are using, staff needed for that task, staff needed for that audit. It needs to be determined by the team lead. Client communication. So the leader should ensure a communication with clients regarding all findings, recommendations, and actions to take to identify and address issues. You know, clear communication improves trust and accountability in audit work. So it must also promote ethical conduct. Leader needs to encourage everyone in the audit room to do the right thing. That is, you have to show a good behavior themselves. We know as an auditor now, we are not permitted to receive any gifts from clients. It's prohibited. And this is very important so that it will not look as if we are not doing our job fairly. Accepting of any gift whatsoever is prohibited as an auditor. Let's look at the risk management of it. Using materiality threshold during our audit is very, very important. Materiality threshold. Also audit checklists, audit programs to be followed to avoid vital risk area not to be omitted. It's very vital. So all these processes have to be put in place by the leader. Continuous improvement as well. Continuous improvement, you give your team a feedback so that they can improve on their performances. Encourage job rotations. Not only one person in one section for 4 years. Rotate them. Let them learn from all sides. Rotate them. So these are the good ways or processes to bring about a good quality management. So let's go to the risk processes. The risk assessment processes. The risk assessment processes. This is an addition in which ISB introduced. This is one of the crucial aspects in quality management, risk. And I have another question here. How can we as a firm identify and address risk to improve audit quality? How can we identify risk? How can we address risk? What are the processes we need to follow to address risk? This is a question for us again. Please, I need someone to assist us practically. How can we address risk? How can we identify risk to improve quality management? The floor is open, please. You can also make use of the chat box for your comments, observations, and other things. Please, I need a response from here. How can we manage risk as a firm? Because this ISQM concerns us as an auditor, as a firm in general. How can you manage that risk, that litigation? That it's very crucial. We need to manage them. So practically, how have you been doing it? Okay, yes. Mr. Joshua, we have our hands up.
Oh, okay. All right, Mr. Role, you can have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Joshua. Madam Toby,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you very much for your wonderful presentation and for taking us through the relevant concepts under ISQM 1 and 2.
Thank
So
you.
far, so good. I would say I'm learning, I'm unlearning, and I'm relearning.
Thank
So
you.
to your question, basically, if I get the question clearly, you want us to run you through
Yes.
how we can achieve an efficient risk assessment process in an audit engagement.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, ma. So basically, tying it to the subject of our discussion, which is ISKM 2, ensuring quality review in an engagement, or tying it to ISQM generally, quality management. So I want to believe that risk assessment is one of the ways we can enhance. Can you hear me? Am I audible enough?
Yes, you are. You are.
Okay. Okay, so I want to believe it is one of the veritable ways we can use to enhance the quality of an audit. So now, basically, just as it is spelled out in the slide you are currently speaking to, we need to first of all understand the client's business and its business environment. So understanding the entity is very, very important. So, and then for us to be able to understand the company, its business environment, internal and external environment, we must be able to know what the company's operations are. We must be able to understand its ownership structure. We must be able to know the industry in which it operates. We must be able to determine whether it is a regulated business environment or not. We must be able to know other external factors that might influence the financial reporting, which will in turn affect our job as auditors. So that is that on understanding the client's environment, understanding the entity. We need to know the nature of the entity. We need to know. So secondly, we need to understand the internal controls. We need to understand controls. So how do we understand controls? We need to do our preliminary assessment during our planning stage. We must plan very well. We must be able to identify the internal controls put in place. Okay, so while we are auditing, we must be able to carry out test of control to know if, if a company does not implement its internal control, and if its employees do not, if they don't comply with the internal control, it's as good as the internal control is not in place. I don't know if I'm communicating. Do you agree with me that an internal control not followed?
Yes.
Internal control measures not followed are as good as internal control not in existence.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, we must, as auditors, we must understand the control and the control environment of the company. Thirdly, we must be able to assess these two earlier procedures will help us in assessing the risk of material misstatement, which is one of our core areas of focus as auditors. We must be able to, at every level of the audit, whether planning, execution, and finalization stage, we must be particular, we must be pertinent about the risk of material, because audit risk itself, what we call audit risk itself is the risk of the financial statement being misstated. Okay, so if we are able to assess this risk at every level of the audit, at every stage of the audit, then we will be able to what? Particularly, we need to, that's where our materiality comes in. Our materiality must not be watery. We must work with a realistic, and we must work with a materiality that is very, very reliable. So that is why our planning must be watertight. We must be able to determine our materiality level at the planning stage, our materiality level at the performance stage, and our materiality level at the finalization stage. So the identification and assessment of risk of material misstatement involves evaluating where and how an entity's financial statement could be materially misstated, and assessing the likelihood and the potential impact of this risk. Okay, there is a lot to say, but I think that's enough for now, just to put a meaningful response to the question you have raised, ma. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Aruli. Thank you very much. You have done justice to the question. Thank you. Do we have any other person that has any contributions, any addition to what he has said?
All right, so we have some responses in our chat box.
Okay.
So let me just take them one after the other.
All right.
Okay, so Mr. Adele said regular staff rotation, good working paper review, clients' engagement on events that had occurred after the last audit, environment review of the client, as well as industry. Then said we need to know the nature of business, internal control system, capability of the management, and the quality and experience of the staff. This will help to identify the inherent risks and how to manage them. Okay. All right. So Mr. Musura also added, how do you manage and mitigate the risks of quality failures and non-conformities? He said, one, define your quality objectives and criteria. Secondly, identify and assess your quality risks. 3, implement preventive and corrective actions. Then monitor and control your quality performance. Then review and improve your quality system. And then finally, certify your quality system. Okay. All right. So that's all from our chat box. Then if there are more as well.
All right. So thank you very much, Mr. Joshua. I hope we have learned from that. What are those processes we need to adhere to in order to reduce risk? How can we go to assess the risk so that we not fall victim of litigations? Thank you very much. Thank you all for contribution. So we have another hands up. Aditola Ojola. Mr. Joshua.
Good afternoon, everybody. I made some contributions on the chat box, but the last speaker did not read those contributions. Can we look at the chat box again, please?
Okay, so sorry about that. Let me go over the chat box again. Thank you. Oh, okay. Everything has been read, Mr.
Okay.
So, yeah, so, okay, the last one coming from Sivano saying the materiality test will also help to identify possible risk area. Mr. Jolayemi read this, that we need to know the nature of business, internal control system, capability of the management, and then quality and experience of the staff. This will help to identify the inherent risks and how to manage them. Then, okay, another one just came in. It said, okay, any guidance on materiality tests, since all industry do not have the same risks. Okay, this is a question from someone, because someone mentioned that materiality risk tests, will help to identify possible risk area. So this person is asking, any guidance on materiality tests, since we know that all industries do not have the same risk? Okay, Mr. Adetola, I think your hand is still raised.
Yeah, can I just read them out? I think I made a mistake. Instead of sending to everyone, I sent to as a direct message to Mr. Mohammed. The points I noted are as follows. We must understand the nature of the business of the client, 1. 2, the legal requirements of the business. If there are technological changes that affect the business, then we must assess the goals of the job itself, that's the engagement. Then what are the requirements of the engagement in terms of staffing, capacity, that's internally now within the firm. staffing capacity, the experience and skills of the team required to carry out the job. And then what are the control deficiencies? I think somebody already mentioned that, control deficiencies in the client's business. Then what is the integrity of the books and records kept by the company? Then there are past errors in management reports that we've handled before, which not a new client. And then what's the adequacy of documentation and records kept by the clients? That's all. Thanks.
All right. Okay. Mr. Joshua, any other comments?
Oh, okay. So this response to the question regarding guidance on materiality test. So this person said the client industry and the regulatory body that the client belongs to, we also help to know the risk exposure. Also, the internal control plan and reports, we also guide. Okay. So that's all from our chat box. If there are more, I would also notify you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your contribution thus far. All right. You can have the floor, man.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Joshua, and thank you all for for participating in this discussion. You have said it all. As it is, it's a discussion forum, because as you have said, different firms have their own policies and the clients they handle. So sometimes the workload will differ. We ensure the processes to put in place. Yes, concerning the materiality questions and answers, yes, the policies, the company's policies on setting up materiality is in diverse ways. So you need to identify yours in your own firm. How will it work? And most especially, I know most of us use applications. We use case where we have audits made. It has a lot of applications that can help us detect this. Immediately you log on your TB, it will give you the materiality. You set it, you give you the materiality level. Okay, if you've entered this amount, it will automatically generate. So it depends on the applications you are using in doing your work, your audits. So I think that is gotten to that question. So let's still have a brief understanding of what risk assessment is all about. Let's still have a little contribution on it. Yes. As I've said, risk assessment is one of the crucial areas in quality audit management. So ISQM helps firms to find, evaluate, and address risk that might affect the quality audit of our work. As Mr. Arole has said, what are the processes we must follow in order to ensure we follow these processes? Number one is by understanding the environment of your clients. Clients differ. They are not the same. The nature of this place differs. ISQM requires firms to understand the environment in which they are about to audit and the specific risk which is attached to that engagement. And that is why we have knowledge of client's business when we are about to do our audits. We have team briefing at the planning stage. We are not robots. We need to know what you are doing before we'll be able to audit it. Knowledge of clients, team briefing at the initial stage is very important. This will give us the idea of what the nature of business the firm is in, the client is into. Number two is to identification of risk. How were you able to identify risks related to your clients? Through client meetings, interview, system documentation processes. The financial statements, documentation. You can even go online to research on those complaints. And if it is an existing client, you look at the prior year management letter to see what have been raised concerning the risk areas. Setting of materialities is one of the key factors because that's what we discussed now. So let's look at the assessment of risk. So once a risk is identified, ISQM requires firm to assess the likelihood impact of that risk. I've identified this risk. What is the likelihood impact on this risk I've identified? So this assessment will determine the appropriate response to that risk. So let's look at response to risk. So what do we mean when we say response to risk according to ISQM 1? Response to risk may include changing the engagement procedure. Yes, you might say yes. You might, when you have already identified something you cannot handle, then you change the engagement, the procedure. Or you allocate additional resources, or getting an expert if need be. There was a publication I read some time ago about a foreign audit firm that was fined millions of dollars because the team fails to review a contract worth of 600 million euros, entirely written in French. And none of the team speaks French. And there's no attempt of translating the document at all or bringing in an expert. So if they had done a proper risk assessment, they will have realized how important that exact document is, how important it is. They could have either hired a French-speaking auditor, it's possible, or even decline the audit, if need be. So these are the ways to respond to risk as an auditor, so that we won't put ourselves into litigation that is not necessary. So this highlights the needs for a better risk management and specialized skills in complex audits. So it helps us to carry out a quality audit processes. So let's briefly move to the second element because of our time. The relevant ethical requirements. What are the relevant ethical requirements? As a firm, these are the sets of guidelines, standards that we must follow as a professionals. Some of our common ethical requirements: integrity and confidentiality is everywhere. Upholding trust, fairness in all our dealings. As an auditor, how can we maintain integrity in dealing with our clients? By ensuring we don't compromise. No, we don't compromise. We don't have any deals with the clients or client staff. It compromises the ethical requirements for quality management system. So let's look at confidentiality. Confidence means ensuring that client information is not accessible by all party, by third party. As an auditor, we are allowed not to discuss any client information with third party, either relative, friends, or even immediate family. We are not allowed, because it compromises the requirement for quality management system. So let's look at professional competency and due care. Staying updates with industry developments. Staying updates. What is happening in the industry as relates to your clients. We need to have that professionalism. Seeking appropriate trainings, education, trainings on what you are auditing. There are each standard that guides audits, each standard. And also exercising due care in decision-making processes. So let's look at objectivity and integrity, remaining impartial in all our dealings with clients. We don't compromise. It's not part of the ethical requirements. So these are those things we do in order to carry out a quality audit. Compliance with laws and regulation. Yes, involving and understanding, following the legal rules in area of tax, pensions, and all the likes. We need to follow it. As an auditor, We ensure compliance. We must have the clear understanding of what the Lord says concerning each aspect of audit, each sections of audits. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's look at respect for stakeholders, treating all clients well, including employees, treating them with respect, including employees, suppliers, investors, community. Treat them with dignity and fair. Treat your staff with respect. As a professional, it is important for us to communicate respectively with our clients, our staff, regardless their roles. You see, criticism should be constructive. Criticism should be constructive, not harsh. We are all professionals. There is no need for confrontation when addressing issues. No need of confrontations. You have to maintain our professionalism, which is the key to solving problem effectively. And that is the reason why we have management letter. It is there for us. If you observe anything that is going wrong, write it down. Don't confront them. Be constructive. Write it down. Write all your discovery and communicated step at the exit meeting. Treat them with respect as part of the requirement of quality management system. So let's look at the whistleblower protection. When you have treated them well, you treat them with respect. You are not harsh. They will disclose some vital information for you. There are some information you have not even gotten from the initial stage, from the planning stage. You have not gotten it. But because you are friendly, you are not harsh, they will be able to disclose some information which is not even, does not appear anywhere to you. And that is the reason why we have to treat them with regard and respect, so that they can also release some things, some information that we are not aware of. So this is a good way to bring about a good quality management system. So let's look at some acceptance and continuity. Acceptance and continuity, let's be fast about it because of time. When assessing a potential new client for acceptance of audit engagement, how do we ensure that client objectives and risk profile align with our firm's ethical standard for us to accept that client? Number one is by evaluating the client. You need to evaluate the client you are about to accept. Looking at the industry, what type of business are they into? As I've received some comments now, that you have to assess what the industry in which they had, the environment. What is the size of your clients? Are they big or small size? What is their reputation? What do other people say about them? Are they known of good practices? Are they known of good business practices? What is their financial capacity? Will they be able to pay after you have rendered the audit service? Will they be able to pay you? What is their ability to pay? What is their strength? Their payment history? Ethical consideration. Does the client operate ethically? How does their own value align with yours? And from your own part too, as a firm, you check your capacity. You check your capacity. Do you have enough resources to take these clients? Can you handle their workload? Expertise. Do you have the knowledge and skill needed to serve these clients effectively? The risk appetite should need to be considered. How much risk as you, as a firm, can take? What are the risks you can take as a firm? Need to be considered. So by considering all these factors, you'll be able to decide whether to accept these clients or not. So we look at the due processes to a gathering of information from potential clients, like financial papers, legal stuffs, background. No, you also do your background check, as I've said. Very important before you accept an engagement. So let's quickly look at client acceptance decision. Now, look at what you have found during the risk assessments and due diligence. So you have to decide whether you accept this work or not. As I've said for the example I made earlier about the French-speaking document, the French document, if they could have started that, they can decline. It's not necessary you accept. If you look at it, that this document, we don't have expertise, and the bill the fund they are paying, the audit fee, we can't accept, we can't bring in expertise because the fee does not cover it. Then you decline. So after carrying out all these assessments, if you are okay with it, then you accept. So let's quickly talk about engagement letter. We prepare an engagement letter stating the scopes of services, responsibility of both the parties. We also talk about the fee structure, the time of engagement. This ensured, and also you also ensure that this engagement letter is signed by both parties. Yes, it has stated the responsibility, the scope, and everything. You must ensure it is signed by both parties. It's very important. So let's quickly look at continuity monitoring. Continual monitoring. We make sure plans to keep an eyes on our clients, even after we started working with them. Keep your eyes on them. Update their record as needed. Some of us use applications, audit mates, accounting SAP, we have Caseware and others. Update your client's information on your system, on the applications, especially changing in directors and shares. Changes in directors' addresses and other relevant information must be updated. So these are the good way to bring about a good quality management system. So let's quickly go to engagement performance. Let's go to engagement performance. Engagement performance refers to how well a firm carries out its services for other clients. That is, it involves the planning stage, the assigning the right teams to handle that task, and also completion of audits on time and within a set budget. So we have 3 stages under engagement performance. We have the planning stage, we have the execution and the monitoring stage, which is the field work stage. Then we have the completion and reporting stage. So let's briefly look at the stages one after the other. Let's look at the planning stage. So as a firm, what are those things we need to consider under the planning stage of audit to achieve that quality control system? What are those things we need to put in? Number 1 is to obtain relevant documents, such as the client TB, the management accounts, decide the prior year audited financial statements. The prior year management letter is very important. So those ones has to be gotten at the initial stage to go through them. As you have said, the knowledge of the clients, what they do, how did they generate their income? Maybe during the year when you were not there, some income streams might have been added. So you need to make inquiries, have a meeting with a system documented. What are those that have changed that we are not aware of? What are your revenue streams? What are the risks, area identified, and all those things? So this is where you do your team briefing. Your team briefing. This is just to know to have the knowledge of the client business. This will be discussed on the team briefing. You look at the independence confirmation of the information that they are genuine. And here you also carry out your analytical review. This is where you analyze the past performance to get the trend. You now make a comment. You make a comment on it, send it to the client, even at the initial stage. You audited 100,000 as revenue the last year, and this year you are saying 100 million. It points for a red light. You need to ask them what has increased. Even right from the office, they could have given you the feedback of what have happened. It will ease your work. Now you have, last year we are seeing 100,000. This year the year we are auditing, we are seeing 100 million. What has changed? So analytical review has to be done and sent to clients. Let them respond. Then you issue your arrangement letter. Yes, we issue arrangement letter. So we state a roughly scope, the audit request will be stated there. All engagement letters I've said has to be signed by both parties. Materiality table, this is where you set your materiality because you could have collected all what you need, the requirement from them. So you can use that one to set your materiality. So when you set your materiality, it helps you determine the information that is significant, that will affect the bottom line of the business. They need to be critically looked into. It shows that French document could have affected the bottom line, and it's not interpreted. And it's not even done. It's not even looked into. There is no evidence that they checked it. So materiality assists audits to know where to focus on during audits. So we look at the composition of teams too and job allocation. Yeah, this has to be signed. Yes, the resource allocation, appropriate resources we need, the personnel we need, the devices, and any other thing we need has to be sorted out at this stage. So these are the key aspects related to engagement performance at the planning stage. So let's briefly look at the execution and monitoring stage. That is the fieldwork stage. The fieldwork stage. The fieldwork. I'm going to change my slide because this is a Word document. Mr. Joshua, please, I want to change my slide. I want to change. Well, okay. Yes. So are you saying my computer from here? Yes. Execution and monitoring stage, fieldwork stage. All right. Thank you. So this is the second stage of audit performance. So when we look at the performance analytical review, at the initial stage, we could have sent them those comments concerning the figures, the trends in the figures. So at this stage, you could have gotten a reply from them. So management comments has to be all those places you want a comment. They could have given you, this is what happened. This is what happened. We have to add another, we have to diversify our business. And that is the reason why you are seeing this huge figure. So when we are even about to start your, you could have an idea of what you meet in the GL. Because they are telling you they have incurred this, they have incurred it. So it will even give you, it will ease our job as an auditor. Because you have already gotten a response to the variances, to the movement during the year. Test of control, checking control in place, observation, reviewing documents, approval levels, ascertaining controls. We also look at walkthrough threats. We walk through their processes. We walk through their operations. What are they doing? Are they doing things right? You carry out substantive tests of details. Audit check to make sure financial records are accurate. Check the invoices, the receipts to make sure they are properly recorded. They are approved, they are properly recorded. The fixed asset, this is where you do it. You do your verification process. You check the existence, the value, how they are recorded in the books, and so on. And also, this is another crucial area, confirmation of responses from third party. The director, you need to confirm the amount they are owing in writing. The staff, you confirm the amount they have to pay. They are owing the clients. Bankers, that is bank circularization, to be directed to all banks for them to give us the balances at the reporting dates. At the end of that reporting date. Another one is legal advisory. You have to send the letter to what? To the lawyer to confirm litigations, to confirm court case, because some clients will not even tell you. They won't say they have a court case because they will not want the shareholder to know about it. They will not want them to know about it. They will not even tell you they have a court case, but the lawyer will tell you. Make sure you receive a response from the lawyer. And if response is not received, let it be written that you did not receive any response. because some litigation case is very crucial. It might lead to outflow of funds, heavy funds indeed. So you need to ensure that that response is being gotten. And if it's not gotten, let it be written. Trade payables, letters to the customers, owing them. How much are they owing as at the reporting date? Trade receivable, circularize them, the vendors, how much are you owing? Then the board resolution during the year gets there. The board minutes meetings. This is where information, some of the informations are hidden. We need to review it carefully. And this is also where we can generate our HML points. We need to review those documents very, very carefully, because those are the areas we can generate our points. Requests for board committee meetings, various committees. So all these meetings have to be reviewed properly, because there are some important information that should not be overlooked, and they will discuss in that meeting. You look at the loan arrangements repayment schedule, collect that one. All schedules should be obtained. Approval budget for the year is just to checkmate the actual performance during the year. The copies of board performance and evaluation appraiser, all these pertains to public hotel complaints. They are regularized. They are regularized. So all these documents has to be requested for, because any public hotel complaint, they are in compliance. They are compliance based. So all these things has to be what? To be requested for, in order to reduce litigation processes. HR policy to check compliance level, composition of client management positions, all these things. Internal audits, very important, the reports, because they could have been seeing some trades they are dealing with. You can get some point from there too. These are the areas we can use to reduce our risk. Review the reports. So let's briefly talk about the reporting stage. Oh, the slides is changing, Mr. Joshua. Mr. Joshua. Mr. Joshua, are you there? Hope I'm still audible, please.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes. So let's briefly look at the completion and reporting stage. This is the last stage of audit. The following audits, completion has to be requested of the profits reconciliation sheet. This is just to show how clients calculate their profits. They listed all the source of their income, subtracting the expenses to find the final profit. So this has to be obtained from the client. So we also look at the matters for partners' attention. This matters for partners is this. It consists of significant audit findings, like a risk-related issue that can affect the client's bottom line. So these needs to be discussed at the top level. So it is categorized as matters for partners and attention. And also we have to carry out a minute an exit meeting. Yes, an exit meeting is just to be able to discuss what we have found during our audit processes. And that is the reason why I said the management letter we have initially written, this is where it will be discussed. So we discuss, and from that meeting, we should be able to resolve some issues. And those issues that are not resolved should be tied together and put on a letterhead. All the schedules, the outstandings we have should be on a whole letterhead and ensure that they sign. Because this one is serving as an evidence again. It's serving as an escape route for we auditors. All the schedules, everything we have that we have requested what we have not been given. Let it be documented that this we have not been given. We have told them that they have a French-speaking document. We can't review it and there is no response for them. They don't give us the funds to hire expertise. Let it be written. Let them sign. Let them sign. Also, all the journals that have been raised, by both parties must be signed. We have some complaints. They are very, very much in compliance. For you to raise journals will be very hard. Maybe 2 or 3 journals. And some, if you don't read 400 journals, you are not perfect. So it depends on the clients. So all the journals being raised so far must be signed by both parties. And after all those things have been in place, then the draft financial statement will be out. So the draft financial statement will be out. So from there, you also ask for the tax computation. This is just to check the level of compliance. Yes, this is just to check the level of compliance. Then also we look for the board resolution. The AFA, that is the audited financial statement, has to be approved by the board before it's finalized. It has to be approved by the board before it's finalized. And as I've said, the reviewer, it depends on the categories of audits. The reviewer must have done a critical job in that line. So before it gets to this level, a lot of reviews must have been placed, most especially when journals is being raised and figures are corrected. So we firm must ensure that the final account must be approved by the board before it's completed. We also obtain representation letter. Yes, we have to obtain representation letter from the client to confirm that the information we receive from them is accurate and complete. They will sign it. They will sign it to be on their own letterhead before we can collect, before we can finalize the accounts. So you also, we, the auditors, we appraise our self-performance evaluation fund. And also, lastly, we lock the accounts. We have different applications. Some use case where we have a way we can lock an account, because when we have already completed audit, in order to avoid the account being tampered with, you have to put a restrictions. Because when we talk of figure, if you remove a 0 from 10,000, it's 1,000, and that can destabilize the accounts. So all account needs to be locked effectively in order to avoid unauthorized personnel to tamper with it. So these are all good way or processes to bring about a good and quality management. Let's quickly talk, because of our time, let me quickly change my slide. Let's quickly talk about the last one, please. Okay, let's talk about resources. Resources is one of the elements of ISQM1. Let's briefly talk about resources. So under ISQM1, resources refer to financial, human, technology, and policies that are required to carry out that effective quality management. So human resources includes the professional staff, the staffs, the partners, the managers, and also we have expertise, external specialists. These are hired based on their knowledge and expertise, for audit engagement. We have actuarial services which they analyze the financial cost of risk when we talk of insurance audits. Then we also have valuer too. They help in complex estimations. Then we have service providers. They are also employed to provide services for us, such as training and then also implementation of software. Then I would like to say this. There is a saying that technology will soon replace audit engagement. Well, I will say, and I stand to be corrected, there are many aspects of audit and engagement that cannot do without human resources, in human intervention and support to ensure that good and quality management. Yes, it's very, very vital. Human resources is vital in audit processes, cannot be replaced by technology. All right, let's quickly look at technology itself. Let's look at technology itself. Let's look at technology itself. Technology, example of technologies, we have the software, the hardwares we are using, and then under ISQM1, we have information management system. How do we manage our client information? As I said, some of us use audit means, depends on the application. How do we save our staff, our clients' information, mobile services, the resources, the equipment we need, the laptops, those things we needed on the field. We look at the security too. All clients' information must be passworded, as I've said. After completion of each audit, this is essential. Yes, all clients' information must be passworded. Immediately you finish the assignment, must be passworded. We look at the electronic audit tools too, using of electronic audit tool to minimize risk. We look at CATs and some applications that are used in order to do that. So all these are needed to achieve a good and quality management system. So next is policies. Let's quickly check out policies. Policies are written set of guidance and rules and principles established to guide our behaviors and settings. So ethical conduct manual is like a rule book that outlines the expected behavior and standard to conduct that an individual and staff must portray. So we also have risk management manual. So these are also the guidebooks that explain how to identify, assess, and deal with all potential risks in a straightforward way. So all these manuals are available for us in order to learn from it. Let's look at procedure on the other hand. These are the step-by-step instructions that guide staff on how to carry out particular tasks. Yes. These are the step-by-step procedure that guide how to carry the task to carry out an audit in a section. So we look at the audit procedure, audit program, checklist. So it depends on what you call it in your firm. It can be audit program, audit procedure, checklist. So how often do you use your checklist during audits? Because checklists help not to forget any step to take when auditing. When you have what to check, you will not forget what to do. So it enables us to have a complete and robust audit exercise because it will cover all the aspects we need to cover. So let's look at accounting standard. Accounting standard, like rules that auditors used to follow when recording and reporting their client financial statements. How vast are you in this standard? You know, there are some sections that each section that guide each standard that guide each sections. How vast are you? What is your ability in interpreting and aligning your financial statement and aligning your client's financial statement in accordance with the standard? Yes, there are each sections that guide audit. And there are some standard I treated and I have on my YouTube page that critically deals with all the standard. I've treated like 2 standards that it's really practical, that you can even look and learn from it. So as an auditor, we can't do without standard. Because anywhere client hears any standard, they listen to you. As a professional, as an accountant, the standard is just like a Bible and a Quran. Yes. And that is the reason why when you hear an imam or the pastor says, the Bible says, everybody will be silent because they want to hear what the Bible says. They want to hear it. As an auditor, immediately you say the standard say, the clients will listen to you because they want to comply. You can't give what you don't have. You need to be conversant. Anytime you talk, they will listen to you because you know what you are saying. You are talking from what? From the standard. So all these stages need to be what? To be known so that you'll become relevant and you'll be able to perform a good and quality audit. So all we need to do is to study our Bible to make ourselves approved. Let's study our standard. So let's quickly look at the resources part of it because of time. This aspect is the most important area when we talk about quality management. Because funds, when there is no money, there is no technology, there is no trainings. Yeah, it's very vital. Fund needed to finance some aspect of the quality management. Yes, financial. So let's briefly look at the information aspect of it. Information and communication. Information is basically about gathering and keeping of records, documenting processes and communication such as information within the organization. Yes. So effective communication ensures that everyone is at the same page. When the information is effectively distributed, it makes audit work quality, because you could have known this is what was said, this is what was said. Don't let any information pass by. And this is just to work towards the same quality we are deriving at. So the last one, let's quickly talk of the last one here, monitoring and remediation. This is about keeping tracks of how well things are going. It involves regular checking to see if everything that is happening is still in course. Everything that is happening is still on point. It's still the way we want it to happen. To monitor our processes. So what are the key to monitoring processes? Number one is regular checking. Yes, checking the team to see how the audit process is going, is being carried out. Tracking of timeline. Yes, we have a timeline of handling each audit. Because if you extend towards that timeline, the company is running at a loss. So you have to check their timeline. What have you done? You know, this assignment is for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. It must not exceed it. So how were you able to address issues discovered as a leader? Reviewing of work, documentation, review their working papers to check compliances, and also feedback and improvement. You need to give your team a feedback for them to improve on their performance. So this will help them to identify errors and also improve themselves as well. So let's quickly talk about remediation. Let's talk about remediation. 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 So once a problem is found, so it's time to fix it, right? So we have to correct our mistakes. Yes. So it might be updating our procedures or improving systems to prevent same problems from occurring again. Learning from the past mistakes. Yes. Yes, remediation is not just fixing the immediate problem. It's also help us to learn from it by understanding what went wrong and how and why, so that we can improve on that processes and prevent such things to happen again. So these are overall a way of monitoring and remediation process that helps the organization to maintain high standard of quality management system. I think with this, we are going to the end of this training section gradually. We have a takeaway here, which is from ISQM 1, firm level focus. Quality management system ensures the entire firm has processes to support audit quality. That's number one. Number two, leadership. Leadership should promote what an ethical culture, risk management, and also accountability across the firm. Training. You should train your staff. Training. Focus on providing the right resources and training to them. Risk management, identify and address risks. Very, very crucial in audits. All these key are vital in order to achieve a good quality audit. So under ISQM 2, now we have to review. Get an independent reviewer to review your work. Engaging quality review is very, very vital. Critical judgment helps to verify decisions. Get an expert to review your work. It minimizes risk. So, together, ISQM ensures the wide firm maintains a high quality. Why? ISQM 2 focuses literally on reviewing and improving of audit work. So, let's quickly conclude this. Let's conclude this. ISQM 1 is not just about following rules. It's about making sure audits are done the right way and firms do their job really well, so that this stakeholder can trust the financial information they rely on. So thank you very much for listening. And if there's any question and answer, Mr. Joshua, we have come to the end of the training. Mr. Joshua, please. You can have the floor. Mr. Joshua, are you there? So if you have any question, let's make use of this opportunity to ask and let us share our experiences. Yes. Let's use the opportunity to ask. Hope I'm still audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Mr. Joshua, are you there? Please, you have the floor. The section is over so that we can appreciate our participants. Okay, and let me use this medium again. Please, I want to stop sharing. Let me use this medium again to introduce question service to us and what we do. Let me use this medium to introduce question services to us and what we do. Sorry, I'm going to change my slide from here. All right. Hope my slide is changing. So let me quickly introduce what we do as in question service to us. We specialize in providing top-notch training on the IFRS and other professional topics, offering our course both online and then offline to cater for our conveniences. So we are proud to conduct this training at ICANN district level and zona, and also ICANN himself. And also, our expertise spans a variety of crucial areas that are designed to empower you and your organization. So let's take you through some of our key trainings offers. First, we have a data analysis and data cleansing training. And this comprises of programs tailored to enhance your analytical skills, equipping you with the tools and the technical things you need to analyze your data effectively. We also provide a dashboard reporting training using Microsoft Excel, Power BI, creating impactful dashboard in an available skills, allow you also to visualize data effectively. So also in today's data-driven world, mastering this skill is very, very essential. And our training ensures that are well-tailored and prepared to your needs. So we also offer Excel training, covering everything about basics to advanced level. So whatever you want, you are looking at in order to deepen your knowledge in Excel, quickly call on us for the service. So our Excel training is tailored to meet your specification needs, and also we also enhance your skill. And if you, we also enhance your skills as well. So kindly contact us for any booking of our services. You can call the number displayed. I don't think my slide is changing. You can call on the number on the screen for any advice or any booking. So Questnote services guarantee you an exceptional value for your investment. So thanks for your time, everyone. Hope the slide is changing. It's not changing. Let me try to work on it. So this is what we do in Questnote services. We work on data analysis. We work on Excel. We conduct in-house and online training, both physical and virtual. So we also conduct trainings as the district and zonal level. So in order to cater for your needs. So this is what we do. This is at the webinar, the zonal level. We also work on data analysis, as I said earlier. Data analysis in order to cater for your dashboard reporting. So call us today in order to book your services. So let me quickly display our contact number and email addresses. These are the responses, the questionnaire responses from our participants. So this is our contact phone number, 070-7522-7448. Then we have the email address is questnoservices@gmail.com. So we'll be expecting your service. We'll be expecting you to book us. So Mr. Joshua, please, are you there? Mr. Arole, I think Mr. Joshua is offline. Mr. Arole, please, can you help us conclude the section?
Okay.
And help us appreciate our participants. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Miss Tobi Okoma, for the detailed presentation. I must say, once again, I've learned, unlearned, and relearned. So it's an evidence of a thorough research conducted in this regard and experiential knowledge when it comes to standard, the international standard on quality management.
Thank you.
So I believe that at the end of this section, each and every one of us will be able to confidently go back to our respective fields in audit and assurance service or services with the quality mindset that is indeed needed or expected or required for us to continue to excel in our respective endeavors as regards public practice. Okay, particularly those of us that find ourselves in the audit and assurance environment. So we believe this is going to go a long way in shaping our attitude and approach to subsequent audit engagements. Okay, so and I want us to also have it at the back of our mind that this is not only applicable to statutory audits. We can apply this to every other audit, be it project audit, be it forensic audit, in fact, be it non-audit services like due diligence, like business valuation, as well as every other non-audit services that you could think of. So quality management is very, very key in every engagement because it addresses the firm as a whole and not just the units that provides audit services. So thank you once again to our vibrant facilitator for taking us through painstakingly these concepts and standards, and as well as its rudiments. So having listened them carefully, we believe and then we assure you that we will go out there and make you proud and excel in our respective fields. And then to our participants, to our ever-ready participants, to our energetic participants, to our patient participants, to our dogged participants, we appreciate everyone for your contribution, but firstly, your contribution for making it an engaging session. Okay, so without you, it wouldn't have been this engaging, it wouldn't have been this interactive, and it wouldn't have been this successful. So secondly, we thank you for participating, because without you, there is no training. And without you, the work of the facilitator is as good as what? Is as good as none. So we appreciate you for coming around, for joining us in this edition of Quest No Services training and lecture series. So we hope that we are going to see you again next time, and you are going to subscribe willingly and heartily to the next edition of Kesno trainings, particularly the one on IFRS 9, which will be examining the impact of IFRS 9 on financial statement interpretation. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. You are highly appreciated. See you next time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Arole. Thank you very much for the wonderful closure, the closing speech. Thank you very much. And I appreciate all the participants. So thank you for your time. So we have come to the end of this training section. And is there anybody that have anything to say before we close the section? Do you have anyone that have anything to say?
Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, yes.
Yeah, my name is Hamid. I have a question. I attended one of your trainings some time ago, and there was a plan on IFRS 9 training tomorrow. I don't know if that is still going ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. And as I said earlier, that we're supposed to hold the IFRS 9 training tomorrow, but because of the nitty-gritty around the standard, we need to deepen it so that you, our participants, will be able to enjoy it more. So we need to bring in some experts. It's still the same IFRS 9, but it has been extended from September to November now. So we'll be having that IFRS 9 training November 17th and on the 23rd of November. So, so we are bringing in. Please, can you see my slide? Mr. Arole, is my slide visible?
Yeah, I can see.
Yes, please. It is.
Yeah, so we are bringing in some experts to discuss more about the standard. As we are all know that IFRS 9 is one of the complicated standards we have. So it needs to be in-depthly worked on. And that is the reason why we have to bring in some expertise that are vast in that area. We have, in the light of Mr. Sheyi Masatak, is currently the honorary treasurer of ICANN. Then we have the chairman of Abuja District, which they are vast in handling this section. So it has been postponed to November 17th and 23rd. And we have said initially that it's 10,000, but because of all these the things that are attached to it, we purposely have to review the amount. And it's also coming in with a 5 units credit hours from ICANN. So this is just to encourage us to be able to subscribe to it. And I'm very sure you have value for your investment.
Okay, so people like us that paid for the 10,000, so does it mean we will pay the balance of 15,000?
Yes. Okay, is that Mr. I think, please let's discuss after the training. Yes, you should.
Okay.
Because now, now we are introducing some things that is not initially embedded. If you look at the last flyer, we only have the flyer not included with 5 credit hours. There is no credit hours, and we are not bringing in expertise to discuss about it. So, because when we look at the standard itself, it needs a lot of explanatory and in-depth understanding. So we need to bring in some expertise to discuss more about it. And that's the reason why there's a review in the amounts. Okay. So apologies for that, please. Apologies for that.
Yeah. So how do we just pay the balance on that? And
yes, please, you need to chat me. Please, you can chat me after the training. I'm going to send this. We are going to send this flyer to everyone. So from there, you see the account number, the account name, and everything you need to work on. And also the WhatsApp number you need to contact. Yes. Please let me call out the number, the number was for, please. Let me display the number you have to contact so that we can discuss further.
Okay.
Please, I need to unshare this so that I can display the number. Please, you can contact us on 070-7522 7448, or you send an email to questnoteservices@gmail.com. Yeah, so that we can rectify that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Hello.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, please, do
Hello.
we have any other comments?
Yes, please, just a quick
Okay,
one.
yes, you can come on.
I'm going to ask, how are we going to address
Sorry, I'm not hearing. Sorry.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, yes, I was going to ask, how do we assess the materials for this presentation?
Definitely, you should. You will get the link.
How?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm going to
we put
share
it
the
on our
slides. I'm going to share the slides and the videos through your email addresses.
Okay,
The email
fine,
you
thank
need to
you.
register. And I'm going to share the link of my YouTube channel. We have a lot of material there. We treated a lot of standard there, starting from IS1 to the last standard. So the only standard that is excluded is IFRS 9, which I believe everyone will subscribe to it. So we have all standard in there that is critically dealt with. So I will also send the YouTube link to everyone so that you can access all the materials at your convenience and watch our videos to learn more.
Beautiful, thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So any other comments, contributions before we close for the day? All right. I think we have come to the end of this training section. I once more appreciate all participants that stayed up to this time. It's so wonderful to have you around, and I really appreciate your patience of being online. So thank you very much, and have a good day and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you. All right, we have come to the end of the training.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for joining. Thanks for participating. Please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel, and also patronize us on this IFRS 9 as well. It's promised to be impactful. Promised to be impactful. So I will be at Abuja as well. I'll be at Abuja. Please let's all meet at Abuja. This is also an avenue to let you know the Abuja's conference coming up next month. So I'm going to be there. Let me have you there too. All right. Thank you very much for participating, everyone. All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Yes.
Thank you, madam.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
No,